We are now going to go to Alex Jones, who's on assignment out in Dallas. Alex, how are you today?
I'm great, Jason. How am I coming into you from downtown Dallas?
Loud and clear, sir.
Good, as I drive around. A little bit colder here than it is in Austin. Well, several issues to discuss. Obviously, I wanted to chime in today with the situation with Obama's troop surge for Central Asia in Afghanistan. But first, I wanted to get into ClimateGate that you were just discussing. ClimateGate, a week and a half ago, when I literally popped champagne on the radio show on the Sunday broadcast, I knew that was the equivalent of getting the Death Star plans. Now the Death Star has blown up, but the empire is still there. But this is a major morale booster for everybody that loves truth and liberty and integrity, and it is literally the beginning of the end of the New World Order if we all do our part in educating everyone about this fraud. The heart of the world government system, according to the head of the UN, Ban Ki-moon, Von Rompuy, all of them, is this global carbon tax system. And that's only one element, but the overall fraud that global warming or climate change, period, is caused by man. For years, scientists and research laboratories would compile their own data, and it didn't show since the 60s what, at the time, the UN was saying the Earth was going into an ice age, when they said, no, it's actually warming. And then by the 90s, they said, okay, it's heating, because we were in a heating trend. And the scientists said, yes, but that's not man-made. That's the sun and other factors. And then in the last 9 years, it's been dramatically cooling, according to all the major weather stations that actually have the devices, the thermometers and other devices to keep computerized records. And so for those that don't know, yesterday, Phil Jones, the head climatologist for the UN, this is the research lab where all the world's data was collated by the UN and where it was cooked. Everyone knows we have their internal emails. We have their internal computer programs they use with notes by the programmers in the programs for future programmers that have problems, how to carry out the fraud, how to persecute scientists, how to persecute peer-reviewed journals, how to get people fired. So that's a whole other criminal area right there, not just hiding the decline, fixing the data, manipulating it, and hiding the fact that the world's been getting colder for the last 9 to 10 years as they began to panic. Well, now, Phil Jones, the head ringleader of the scientists, who was recruited by the United Nations, we now have those internal documents as more and more spills out to go out and recruit others for fraud. He is now stepping down. First, it was 3 members of the number 2 party in Australia. Now it's 5 members have resigned. Others are stepping down in disgust over what their own party's been pushing with the climate tax they've already passed over there that hooks into the UN system. There are investigations in New Zealand, in Canada, in the U.S., with all the major national weather services caught integrating the fraud, fixing their data on their end in line with the Climate Research Center in East Anglia, England. So this is only the beginning. Just like when the police pull somebody over for speeding and there's blood in the back seat, so they pop the trunk and they find a woman with her head severed in the back. That was ClimateGate. That was the documents being leaked by, it's clear now, inside staffers who didn't want to be part of the fraud. Then they go to the farmhouse, and that's what's happening now, and they're digging up hundreds of bodies. And so new bodies are popping up every day, new crimes, evidence of the crimes are coming out, and this is exploding in their face even more spectacularly than I thought. Again, I thought it might take months and months or years to blow up the Death Star. Again, that's my Star Wars analogy. But no, the plans got stolen to the Death Star. The Death Star blew up yesterday. But again, we've still got superstar destroyers to deal with. We've still got the main Imperial force to deal with. They're still garrisoned in all our towns, all our cities. Al Gore admits it's a religious cult, which the UN said in the 70s they were going to use. And again, in 96, their biological diversity assessment, that man likes religions. They would package a neo-eugenical religion around exterminating humans and restricting our numbers and one-child policies. So literally, they are burning to the ground. They tried to ignore it. They tried to spin it. But the emails, the computer programs, the documents, the university investigations going on in Canada, England, Australia, New Zealand, Germany, are so devastating. A whole bunch of different professors are about to be kicked out. They're about to lose their tenure. That's happening in Pennsylvania. That's happening in Toronto. It's happening in London. It's happening in Perth. It's happening literally everywhere as the rats leave the sinking ship. And guaranteed, it's already happening, more leaks are going to happen, more documents are going to come out, more evidence, more whistleblowers, more people that don't want to go to prison, because this is criminal, are now starting to blow the whistle, because you're talking about a global UN program, and their documents came out 2 days ago, where they've orchestrated this for world government, for global governance, and as a world tax. So everyone should rejoice at this right ahead of Copenhagen. But at the same time, not just rejoice at what's happening, but redouble and then redouble and then redouble and then redouble and then redouble. Because we've been given a spirit of weakness. We've been given a spirit of not having victory. We've been given a mindset, an idea, an outlook that we're powerless. The globalists have always drilled this into our heads because they know we are incredibly powerful, incredibly dynamic, when we have truth on our side, which we do. And so this is a wondrous thing that is happening, but this is only the beginning. Lord Monckton, next Monday and Tuesday, is going to be reporting live. We just confirmed this morning, talking to his wife. He's going to be reporting to us live next week from the Copenhagen, Denmark, global government, global tax treaty, where they admit they take over all the banking, all the systems, give it all to the IMF. This couldn't have come out at a better time. And it turns out 6.5 weeks ago at East Anglia, researchers there were very upset. That's in some of the emails, saying you can't hide this for you. You can't lie. We shouldn't have done this. And now all the smart money is on the fact that junior researchers and scientists and doctors and climatologists at that huge center are the ones that released this, that it was directly, quote, stolen when it's the people's data out of the system. Also, in the emails, they're talking to different government officials in England and the U.S. about how to block FOIAs, the Freedom of Information Act request they have in England and in the United States. So this is only the beginning. We are winning. Keep drumming. Keep beating the drum of truth. Keep emailing everyone. Keep getting the stories from Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. We have links up there to Lord Monckton's Climate Gate breakdown paper he's written that is stunningly powerful and condenses everything. He's barely even been sleeping, I'm told, to have put this together, this compendium of the latest fraud and the history of their fraud. We are witnessing history right now as these Stalinistic, Hitlerian, Maoistic, Pol Pot-ish people are being routed. This was their pretext to grab control of all the resources on the planet and vertically integrate them into the hands of the bankers. I know you have a guest coming up next hour on that front. So this is just a gigantic victory, Jason.